Hello, fourth grade, and welcome to week 6 of virtual learning. This week, we will be constructing a writing response to our reading. Let's jump right in. So just to recap last week, we discussed the protagonist and the antagonist of a story, what role each of those characters play, and also character traits of protagonist and antagonist. This week's objectives states, I can understand how the author develops the theme or message of a story by writing a short essay. Using the graphic organizer, I can develop and organize my writing piece so that I can carefully examine how the author communicates the theme. This week we will be reading chapter 9 of Scraps of Time. So just sit back, listen, or read along with me. Chapter 9 is called Face to Face. Everett, you said your ma and pa were dead? You never said you had a brother home worrying about you. Reverend Johnson sounded disappointed, but he showed the brothers into his office where he could talk things over in private. Gus paced the floor. Everett stood at the window with his back turned. Finally, Gus said, It's a miracle I found you, but I took a chance that you followed Cole's footsteps. My prayers have been answered. For that, I'm grateful. Everett shrugged. I'm done. I've done fine on my own. Made friends. I have a job and a place to stay. That's well and good, but we're still going home, Gus said, turning Everett around so they were facing each other. What in the name of all that's holy do you expect to do out west? You have no money, no skills, no nothing. Everett pulled away. You can take me back, but I'll run away again and again and again. Everett said sharply, Anyway, I got a lot of book learning. I'll find something. Gus rubbed his forehead with the heel of his hand. It's all that stuff Pa put in your head about being free. If book learning got to you thinking that freedom means doing whatever you want, then it's better to stay ignorant. You may be smart, but you don't know nothing about life. They were silent for a moment. Gus pulled an envelope from his pocket. Got a letter here from Cole. You want to read it? Everett quickly unfolded the paper and read it. Dear brothers, at this writing I am alive and well. Life is hard out here in New Mexico. The food is terrible. I'll give a year's wages for a hot bath and a good night's sleep in a real bed with clean sheets. The Apaches are not going to give up their land without a fight. Many lives will be lost. Even though we are on opposite sides, the Indians admire our courage in battle, and our kinky hair reminds them of the buffalo. So they call us Buffalo Soldiers. The sad part is, out here, there is enough land for everybody. No need to fight over it. Your brother, Cole Turner. Land again? Thought Everett. That's what Cole was in the army fighting Indians for? Gus allowed Everett to keep the letter. Everett took Pa's medal and looked at it. I see you still have a medal, Gus said, touching it with his brother's hand. It means a lot to me, Everett said softly, folding the letter and placing it in the medal in his pocket, almost as much as going out west. Gus looked away. There were creases of worry in his forehead. Everett, I'm going to speak to you man to man. There was a different tone in Gus's voice now. I promised Pa I'd hold our land, but the truth is I can't much longer, not without your help. I have to make a good crop this year or we'll lose everything. I won't force you to come back, but I'm asking you. Everett felt bad. Still, his mind was made up. He wasn't going back with Gus, but he needed time to think how to say no in a way Gus would accept. Give me till Wednesday to decide, was all he said. So chapter 9 was pretty short. That closes us out. So far, as a quick recap, Gus found Everett and is trying to convince him to come home. Stay tuned to see what happens next in chapter 10. Let's jump right into our lesson. So this week, as I stated, we will be constructing a written response. Our question of the week is, what is the theme or message of our central text? The central text is Scraps of Time, of course. And what key details does the author use to communicate this theme or message? Just a quick review. Last week we talked about what is the theme of the story. The theme is the message or lesson that the author wants you to learn. A question to ask yourself when trying to find a theme is, what does the author hope I realize? Why is the theme important? The theme is important because it is the message of the story that gives us life lessons. Also, the theme is a part of the reason the author writes the story. And of course, the author simply has a message or a life experience that they want to share with their reader. In your writing this week, along with discussing the theme, you will also include key details. We talked about the key details all school year, so this is not a new topic. The key details of a story, it is the topic or big idea that an informational text is written about. So normally, the key details is a word or phrase that gives important information about an event, like who, what, when, where, and why. So for our writing example, I am actually going to model how you should begin your constructed response. Please do not copy exactly what I have here, but instead use this time to think about your ideas and how you would like to begin your essay. So of course the question is asking us, what is the theme or message of your text? So far from what we've read in Scraps of Time, what do you think the overall message is of the story? What is the author trying to tell us? Or what type of life lesson or experience is the author trying to share? So to start us off for our constructive response, so I jump right into the written part of it. So I said Scraps of Time is about a young child who escaped from home in hopes to find a better life out west. So of course, that young child is Everett, who left home. He ran away from home to find a better life out west. He went to look for land and also a way to make a living. He encounters different situations which tested correction right there, guys, which tested his character and question whether he question whether he made the right decision by leaving home. So I put this second sentence in there, just because we know that Everett encountered plenty of situations where he could have gotten in really big trouble. He could have been arrested. He could have been harmed, and also by putting himself into danger by leaving home. So I said, so far, I believe at this point, this is where I want you guys to begin to state what you think the theme of the story is. I believe the theme of the story is, and I won't tell you the answer, but I would like you to insert what you believe the theme of the story is. Then I have details from the text that, little mistake there, from the text that supports this theme is. So here I want you to insert your first key detail, followed by and on this blank I want you to insert your second key detail. And then tell me why. So for instance, if you think the theme of the story is, for instance, believe in yourself, right? Believe in yourself. If you have some type of goal or aspiration in life, live up to it, right? So if you believe that is the theme of the story, let's pick out two key details from the text. We see that Everett is determined not to return home so far, and to keep traveling out west to find a way to new life. And also, another way that we know that Everett is determined is because he talks about it. He talks about it day in, day out. He communicates it with the other exodusters as well as his friends, Hattie and Billy, who he has met along the way. So this is how I want you to construct your first paragraph of your constructed response. Once you have this part stated, in your second paragraph, I want you to elaborate on your key details. Discuss further why you believe the theme you chose is correct. And also include an inference or what you think is going to happen next. Okay? So I gave you an example for our first paragraph. Here is what I expect to see included in the second paragraph, and then during the week, as stated on your weekly checklist, I will post the second example of how your second paragraph should look. All right? So moving right along. So to wrap up today's lesson, just a short recap. Today we read chapter 9 of Scraps of Time. We reviewed what the theme of a story is and what key details in the text are. And we also discussed how to begin writing paragraph 1 of our short essay, which is due on Friday at 4 p.m. Each day, you will complete an assignment that will help you develop your ideas and details of your short essay. You will do that by using the graphic organizers that will be provided to you. Our essay requirements. So these are just the expectations here that is laid out for your short essay. So I want you guys to clearly state the theme of the text, of course, while also using at least 2 key details from the story to support the theme of the text. Your writing should be at least 2 paragraphs, so that means that you should be writing at a minimum 2 paragraphs. Remember, a paragraph is 5 to 7 sentences, guys. 5 to 7 sentences. And also, you should have correct grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Have an awesome week. Please do not forget to use our office hours. Please use them to your advantage. If you need help, if you do not understand our lesson of the week from watching the video, or if you need to hop on and sit with me to discuss your ideas or how you want to map out your essay. We are available Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10:30 to 3:30. And of course, ELA office hours are from 10:30 to 12:30. All right, guys. Have a great week. You guys are doing such a great job. I look forward to seeing some really, really good essays.